So excited to be here with Mishkin and Oli for Queer Desk Stories, but really just a catalyst so everybody can enjoy the music. Thank you guys.
Hi.
What time is it there?
Just past 9, is it?
Yeah, 3 minutes past 9 exactly.
9 p.m. Yeah, not
Wow.
a.m. Just saying.
Very poetic.
So these are all songs from an album that Mishkin and I mostly wrote together, and Mishkin produced the whole thing. And this is the opening track, which is called "Out of the Dirt." Deep in the soil where decay's roots are ripe, where things crawl and uncoil, and death nourishes life. The sun keeps on burning, the world keeps on turning, in cycles of death and rebirth. And out of the dirt blossoms burst. The seasons are seconds that beckons the minute. Our bodies laid low and we're taken within it. Our flesh is so fragile as our fate is fixed. Ashes to ashes and dust. And out of the earth blossoms burst. But there is no end or beginning. The world is a wheel slowly spinning. When in our turn we will cease and expire, our body may burn, be consumed by the fire, our being to ashes, our skin to mere soil, our carcass dissolved and dispersed. I offer myself as food for the flowers, I offer my meat to its renewing power, to be flayed by the worm, become soup for the soil, turning my flesh into earth. Out of the dirt blossoms burst. There is no end or beginning when we're taken under the ground. The world is a wheel slowly spinning, and everything comes back around. There is no end or beginning when we're taken under the ground. The world is a wheel slowly spinning, and everything comes back around. This one I wrote after my dad passed away. It's strange not to think of you alive, yet I am still here just getting by somehow. But it's strange not to think of you alive, yet I am still here just struggling on, getting by day to day, living life. It's strange not to think of you alive, because in my dreams you still exist, and then I wake to find you gone, but life moves on the same as every single day. My heart beats, the blood flows in my veins, and something dries strange just to think your heart's not here, not beating as is mine, and that your mind is as dead as your eyes. And it's strange not to think of you alive. You who gave me life, no longer here, no longer by my side. Recess of my past, a memory of a memory, a worn out photograph, nothing lasts. But it's strange not to think of you alive, and yet I still remain. I wake, I breathe, I feel the breeze, I walk the streets alone. And you're not here. So we'll do one more and then have a little break.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Introduce this one?
This is the garden. Need wine. Once I dreamed of a garden whose fountains brimmed with wine, whose emerald hills and pastures roll with fruit on every vine, whose swans were white as ivory, whose harvest ripe and sweet. For all around these beauteous grounds, exquisite things to eat. With the wine came inspiration, and the food enriched my soul. A great future spread before me, and I ran and reached each goal. And my soul was high on dreaming, and my heart knew only love. A great future reached before me, and the sky was bright above. But now the soul is poisoned, and the fountain swims with blood, and the swan's necks lay all broken amongst the rotting food, and the sky is thick with darkness, and the plants know only night, and are wilted in the winter at the dying of the light. For my soul is cold and wretched, and my heart knows only hate, and his heart to a boulder of a tremendous weight. Well, now the poison's my addiction. I have frightened all my friends. My soul epic. So that was the end of part one.
Woo!
Thank you. Did that all come across okay?
It did. It was amazing. I love the
Oh,
ending of that
it's a
song.
joy to be chatting with you again.
You too. It's been too long.
I wish I could see you in the real world because I can't really see. I haven't got my glasses on. It's
I
makeup or
know.
glasses for me, so.
I was telling Selena, I wish we could merge our coasts and then I could come to your shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. One day. It'll happen. So when you guys compose these epic pieces, what does that look like?
I think. Do you want? I think it's just I sit down and sing some ideas, and Mishkin sometimes develops them and sometimes doesn't. What would you say?
I'd say that Ollie's poetry is definitely in like already a song structured sort of form. Like work with quite a few people who write lyrics, but not people who write lyrics in this already kind of quite well structured rhythmical phrasing that Ollie does. So for me,
Right.
it's probably like the easiest person to work with in that way because the poetry just already fits to a beat. I don't know why you write like that, but it's really easy for me to then just look at the sort of color of what Ollie's writing, and it's usually quite gothic, which works for me.
Yeah.
And then to just build the chords around it, and he also lets me do whatever I want, as you can see. The
Yes.
piano parts are pretty bombastic, so
Yeah.
that's kind of how it works for me. But I'll let Ollie develop on that.
I meant to say. I mean, I phrased that wrong. Mishkin always builds and develops on the song and turns it into a song. From when I'm singing it, it's just a rough sketch. But sometimes she'll have a different chord progression or something. So sometimes it'll develop in that way, and sometimes it won't. There's a song that we're doing, "Dying to Live," where initially Mishkin had a very kind of complex arrangement for it, and then I think you came back to my original.
Yeah.
Because there was something about it that, I mean, I've been accused of being quite trad, but I listen to a lot of very old music, and there was something about this voice at the end of a life that kind of lent itself to some kind of more conventional chord changes, and I think Mishkin's very aware of what is or isn't conventional, so you'll probably lean towards something more unique than I would, and I'm just working on a very instinctual Fraggle Rock kind of songwriting basis. But I'll pass this back to Mishkin to see what she says.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think being allowed to sort of write without constraints is really great because then I can take the song into an unusual place, and then me and Ollie get to write really weird songs instead of
It's
stuff
always wonderful, whatever we
with
do.
with the same chords. I work with a lot of people and they want it to sound like a very formulaic kind of thing, whereas Ollie's stuff is, I would consider it a lot more artistic and a lot more interesting musically and lyrically. So I kind of just try and dress the song up in whatever it needs, if that makes sense. And usually it's a pretty like goth arrangement, which
Right.
works for me.
It's very
Well,
emotional too.
Well, I don't think I was ever really. Sorry, I'm looking in the wrong place because here's the camera. I don't feel like I was ever really a solo artist until I started working with Mishkin, because my first solo album was Oli Spleen, which was 10 years ago now. Was a producer in Paris who kept sending me these backing tracks. So I was kind of felt like it was a skill that I learned probably from being bummed a lot, where you learn to mold yourself to other people's energy, when I was younger and, sexually having a lot of, I don't know. It was a skill that I learned. And this producer in Paris just sent me these tracks, and I put words to everything he sent me, which he wasn't expecting. He said normally people will say, I can work with this, but I can't work with these ones. But with Mishkin, it was the first time, other than, there were a couple of songs with my old band, but with Mishkin, it was the first time I really sat down and said, here are some songs I've worked out, I've structured them, and I sung them, and we worked them out together. Whereas I was often in bands, working to riffs, there'd be a riff. So I'm always just molding myself to other people's energy. And what's nice about working with Mishkin is I think we kind of meet in the middle, really. We're very fluid, and we're not control freaks. And certainly working with some men, they can be bad. So you just learn to yield to that masculine energy or whatever. But you know, I was a bit tired of that, so I kind of consider Gaslight Illuminations the first originals album that we two collaborated on as my first solo album, if that makes sense.
Great. Yeah, yeah. How did you meet?
Oh, do you want to say?
I moved to Brighton in 2000 and maybe four, I think, or five. And I started going to punk gigs because I was just trying to become a musician, but I couldn't really play anything sort of useful. Like the piano's great, but it's not really an instrument where you're like, hey, do you need keys on that? Like no one does that. You know, it's not very cool. So I just was playing bass guitar in a bunch of punk bands, and I heard about this band, which was Oli's band, called The Flesh Happening, and everyone was like, oh, the lead singer is just absolutely crazy. Like he just does all these stage antics, and you've got to go see it, and the music's really good. So it was one of my first shows in Brighton, I think, actually, was Oli's gig, and yeah, he was there, like basically putting dolls up his bum.
Pulling them out.
Sorry, pulling them out of his bum.
Oh,
That's right.
get it right.
Right. Yeah.
Pulling them out.
Apologies. It's a bit hazy. I was pretty drunk, and I remember thinking, "Wow,
It was
I
a
won't forget
Christmas
that in
show.
a hurry."
Right.
And that's the first time I met Ollie, but we didn't actually like become friends till a bit later, and I can't really remember how.
Well, I do remember you saying that that when you had heard about The Flesh Happening, that, oh, this guy who does things with his anus, and you were like, but is the music any good? And they were like, well, just come and see. And I remember you coming up to me for that gig and thinking, oh, and what was it? It was a while down the line. We must have done something together. We did, because I ran a club night called Fag Machine.
That's right. Yeah.
And I think we got Mishkin playing. And then 2015, 2016, Mishkin was like, let's do a duet and let's do a cover. And it was very much, like I knew the song I wanted to do in my head. I really wanted to do Some Velvet Morning, but I said to Mishkin, well, what song would you like to do? And she said Some Velvet Morning, which was the Lee Hazelwood, Nancy Sinatra. So we realized then we were like completely on the same page.
So good,
And
you guys.
that was the first thing we did together. I guested as a vocalist for Birdie's Baby single, which is still my most listened to track, which I thank them for, and I'm also slightly annoyed because it would be nice if it was an original. But anything that rubs off is.
I think that's just Spotify's algorithms, isn't it? It just always plays your first track you released more than anything. It does that with our stuff. Like even though we have more plays, it just.
And Fag Machine was never officially released. There was no press for that album because I didn't realize that the producer I was working with was in love with me. And that was why he wanted to do this whole album and pay for me to go to Paris and stuff. And then I broke his heart and I didn't even know, you know. So I guess I'm not that very... So in the end, he kind of sat on this album and said, well, I'm not going to release it then. And I went over with my friend Sam, who I co-ran the club night with, Fag Machine, rest her soul, 7 years without her on this planet. And we pushed to just release the album. We didn't do any publicity or anything. So the first single that actually was a real single as Oli Spleen was with Birdie's Baby, and that was Some Velvet Morning.
Well, I do love that version.
And then you did Wuthering Heights as well, didn't you?
Oh.
I featured on Wuthering Heights as well, so we did a couple of covers before we started properly.
Yes, Wuthering Heights was really my way out of this pit, because my friend had committed suicide, my partner was a meth addict, and I found myself falling into this world of drugs and terrible stuff. And we were asked to do a Kate Bush tribute night. And Mishkin and I did Wuthering Heights together. And I said, can we record this? And that became the kind of stepping stone that led to relaunching myself as a solo artist, but also connecting with these musicians who I really wanted to work with and writing original material with them. So it was a lifesaver, really. It was Kate Bush, who's now back in the charts. So I'm very happy for her.
I mean, it's a great way to
Yeah, I love Kate Bush.
heal yourself.
Yeah. How are we? How are you? How are you over there? Are you in? Oh, how are you over there? Are you in? I forget where you are. Are you in LA?
I'm outside of LA in Laguna Beach.
California?
Yep.
Oh, just
Things
sounds
are
so
good.
wonderful.
But I just got back from Hawaii, so I'm
Oh.
still there mentally.
And how are the dogs?
They're great. They're here. They're out in the other world.
I've been telling everyone about queer death stories and how your just posts on Instagram just cheer me up every day because they're so
Aw,
funny and so brilliant. And it's two of my favorite things: queerness and
queerness and
death.
death. I know. That's why we get along so well.
Yeah.
That's why Selena was like, "You need to meet my friend Ollie. It's no brainer."
She was right. Oh yeah, you put the fun in funeral. Can you see that?
I love it. Yes.
Yeah. So how are we for time, Mishkin? Should we plow on or should we chat a bit more?
Yeah, should we play some more songs and we can have another chat? Okay.
Yeah,
We'll have a
please.
little chat at the end, yeah?
Yeah.
We'll chat a bit more at the end. Fantastic. So this is an abbreviated second half of the album. Sorry. Oh, whatever. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna look at the camera, but so don't worry about that. When you killed the thing you loved, when you learn that love's where its weight around your neck, like an albatross, carry it from day to day, keep it at all costs, let it be your burden, like you're burdening your cross. This load weighs heavy on me, as leaden as my heart, which once was light and carefree before it tore apart and plunged into this darkness, an eternal graveyard shift, alone on a cold ocean. My boat was set adrift. Now I can't fight against this plight. I'm much too tired to row. Soon you'll see me sinking. That's when I'll be good to go. My hull is worn and rusted, where regrets like limpets grow. As my albatross, an anchor, wants to drag me deep below. This load weighs heavy on me, as leaden as my heart, which once was light and carefree before it tore apart and plunged into this darkness, an eternal graveyard shift, alone on a cold ocean. My boat was set adrift. But perhaps I can reverse this curse. Maybe it's not too late. Or lift me from this darkness. Show me this is not my fate. Let the bird not be my burden. Let my life unfurl and fly, as in the dawn of a new morning, rustling wings take to the sky. Thanks, Albatross Motor. That was for Sam Kalpek. Now I know that life's too short, and now I see the pain I caused with this internal war I fought, and now I wonder why I ever wanted to die. And as I face toward my end, I only want to live again. And if I get a second chance, this time I will not let this life pass me by. Because I'm dying to live again. I'm dying to live again. I'm dying to live. For years I just lived to die, not knowing for what or why. I'm living this life of fear, but now it's becoming clear that this world is suffering, that this life is pain. But given the chance, I'd live it all again. 'Cause I'm dying to live again. I'm dying to live again. I'm dying to live. When we are young, in the morning of our lives, we ascend toward the light. We do not fear the night. But as evening slowly closes in, too quickly we descend toward darkness. To the end, you close your eyes that final time and realize this is how I die. What was that life I've left behind? These are the thoughts that cross your mind. I'm dying to live again. I'm dying to live again. I'm dying to live. I'm dying to live again. Dying to live again. I'm dying. Thank you. So there, the protagonist finds the will to live just on his deathbed at the end of a long life. And here we end the album with the song Still Life, the title track. I'll paint a still life, a still life. There is still life in me yet. Just to capture light and fill life with what light I can reflect, to preserve a frozen moment, to remember, not forget, in a riot of raging color, with the paint all wild and wet, when once my dreams would yield the freshest fruits, as flowers once would bud with blossoms bright, until a blight descended and took root. Those dreams faded in the darkness as my heart gave up the fight. I'll paint a still life, a still life. There is still life in the end. I don't want to live an ill life of mischances and regret. Though I've been put through the mill, I still stand, this sun has not set. So let me paint a still life. There is still life in me yet. freshness every day. As every day I grow a little older, still there is worth and wisdom in decay. Oh, see my still life ripen, watch it blossom bright with mold. If my fate has not unfolded, and my path is still not set, we can find a way to will life to the place I need to get. I must nurture life, not kill life, free my soul of every death. I'll paint a still life, a still life. There is still life in me. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my God. So beautiful.
Well, thank you. I mean, it's such a wonderful meetings of mine to meet to find you through Selena. You know, because queer and death is like the whole thing I do. You know. So.
I know. It's wild.
Mishkin, I couldn't do it without her. I really.
Yeah, what a treat to see you all perform together. Um, so, Mishkin, how do you feel about death and dying? No pressure.
Big question.
Yeah, how long have you got?
Eternity.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess like I had a really religious upbringing, a very strict kind of Christian evangelical sort of focus. So I spent like probably, if I'm honest, like the first 20 years of my life kind of believing in life after death and Jesus Christ and you know.
Sure.
Yeah, and
Oli.
That's why she's rebelled so big.
And
Yes.
then, I just then spent the next 20 years pretty much just trying to get away from it, really, and just forming my own sort of points of views and discovering who I was, and, you know, discovering that I was bisexual as well, and yeah, just a lot of things that kind of went against what I was told. But that also created like a big kind of emptiness. Like when I let go of Christianity, I didn't, you know, really have anything to put there, if that makes sense. And when you have such a strong spiritual focus when you're young, and then that's kind of removed because you don't believe in it anymore, it does leave this big empty kind of thing. So for a while, I really struggled with the idea of death because I felt like suddenly I didn't know what was going to happen. You know, and that was kind of a big deal. But I, you know, found that, you know, through music, I was able to express all of these things. And yeah, I guess I write a lot about death as well. So
You're
again,
going to outlive us all. That's the thing with the music.
That's what, you know, why me and Oli bonded so well is just we have so much in common with that kind of theme and subject. And yeah, so I kind of feel pretty at peace with it now. I mean, I now follow like my own spiritual pathway and I found my peace with that. So I feel quite comfortable with death. I like talking about it a lot. I like thinking about it. I think it's quite a natural thing and it's nothing to be afraid of. And actually expressing, you know, the way we can talk about it just makes it so much easier to cope with when it does happen. So I am always encouraging, you know, to a conversation about death because I think the more we talk about it, the easier it is to cope with, I suppose.
I love it.
But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess I'm kind of up for it one day, but not that soon.
Not that soon. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
I feel like in the absence of religion, when you've been brought up in that kind of context, they don't want to speak on your behalf, but then you create your own kind of religion, and you know there is a certain sense of not immortality, but just existing beyond your lifespan. If you can create something beautiful that goes out into the world that people will listen to after you're dead, and I really feel that I think we're fully dead when the last person hears our voice or the last person is aware of our existence. And I think I'm with one of the immortals here, with Mishkin, because I think they're going to be hearing her voice a long time after they finish hearing mine. Who knows?
Well, you're going to be immortalized
I
too,
love you.
Ollie.
I love you. Pardon?
You're going to be immortalized too. Johnny
It's
Cash
not a
visited you.
competition.
Johnny Cash already visited you. You're
He
immortal.
did, yeah.
Johnny Cash.
Yeah, I had a dream. This was very early on, and he told me to sing lower.
Really?
And yeah, honestly, eventually took his advice,
That's
but
so
it took
funny.
me a while.
That's so
It
funny.
was soon. It was fairly soon after he died, but I thought I looked at the dates and it wasn't that soon after he died. But
It's good advice.
I was,
You've got a
you
lovely-
know,
It
I was going
was.
into the studio with the
Yeah.
flesh happening, going,
Legit.
and he was Johnny Cash came to me and he just went, no, sing lower. You
Yeah.
know?
Sing lower, Ollie.
Good advice. You've got a lovely baritone. I've
Thank
always
you.
thought your lower ranges are actually
Mishkin understands
quite-
how to bring
quite
out the best in
lovely.
me.
So,
So
yeah, I mean, still life has got that lower.
yeah.
Yeah.
It does. I like that
It's
very
wonderful.
much. That's why Some Velvet Morning really made sense because
Mm.
Yeah.
Lee
Yes.
Hazelwood.
I must say I'm a little tired of it now, but it's still good. It's still good. Maybe we should do another duet.
Yes. I'm always up for that.
Just putting that out there.
What do you think that would be?
I'm gonna say something by Shuby Taylor.
I don't know who that is.
Me
Sorry,
neither.
it's like a scat singer who never. Sorry, no, I'm just saying that as a joke. John Terry,
You just wanted to
Daniel
say scat.
Johnston.
Oh,
I'm
I
just putting
met
out a
him
lot
one
of
time.
outsider musicians because I
Yes.
I like bad music, and I think Mishkin could, you know, we should do some bad music. You're too talented. That's the problem.
Stop.
That's your problem.
Duet, but I don't know what. I can't think of something, you know. But
I've got a long
you've got,
list.
you've got a lot more ideas of where to go with covers and stuff.
I've got a long list of covers I can show you if you want to just go there. But
Covers album.
yeah,
Wouldn't that be
I
nice?
did Flowers for Fufu, but we should do one together.
Yeah, we could do an EP of covers or something.
That'd be
So
awesome.
That'd be nice. Yeah, I mean, you can choose them. I mean, I only listen to death metal, so I won't suggest
Really?
the covers.
I'm, good.
Yeah, pretty much these days. Yeah.
I'm somewhere between chanson and the European tradition and outside, mostly American outsider music. So people who have no understanding of music whatsoever, or dead French people.
Dead French people like Serge Gainsbourg, or
Yeah, but more. I mean, Brel was Belgian, but we actually did a cover of Barbara's. I can't say it in French. Barbara. Her real name is Monique Cerf, and I would suggest that anyone watching this should check out her stuff. I mean, she writes about death. She's just the most brilliant songwriter, but only ever sung in French to my knowledge, and very few people have translated her into English.
You have.
And we tackled, I did my best at translating her song L'Aigle Noir, the Black Eagle. But then I realized that in translation you can't rhyme much with eagle. Everything hung around noir, which in French everything's, you know, around the other way. And you try and rhyme with eagle, you've got Spiegel, Fliegel, and you've got
Beagle.
nothing basically.
Beagle.
Beagle. So I changed it to bird of prey, and then all of a sudden the rhymes opened up, and Mishkin and I recorded that for an EP, which was called The Eagle and the Dove, which is under Oli Spleen, but it was the first thing of Mishkin and I working out the kind of vibe that we were going to do for Still Life. And I really like that. Mishkin had done a version of Nature Boy, the Eden Abe, Nat King Cole song. And, and I was like, I think I can find my voice in that. And I think it's always good to, when you're embarking on an originals album, to throw some covers in there and just find your voice and find the vibe. And
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think that's what we did there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've listened to the Nature Boy for sure.
Yeah.
Because I've
I'm
listened
proud of
to
that.
your
I think
covers
that's one
I
of
album.
like
the.
that. Your baritone on that is on point.
Yeah, I've been told I should find more songs like that, but I don't really know. I don't believe I have a formula.
I'd like to do some more stuff like your song Hollow Moon. I think that was a really cool direction we went in with that one. We didn't cover it tonight because it doesn't really work on its own with the piano, I don't think. I haven't really got an arrangement of it.
That was Robert's favourite.
But yeah, I think that's definitely one of the weirdest tracks we've ever done, but it's probably my favourite as well. And I know it's Gary's.
It's a great song.
Yeah, it's just really, really cool and really progressive and weird. So
and really suicidal.
Yeah, we should maybe stop
Of course.
such upbeat things with arpeggios in, and maybe
yeah,
just do some more.
Sorry about all the optimistic songs, Mishkin. All the happy songs, all the jazz hands. Sorry, I'll maybe go a bit dark next time, shall I?
I don't mean lyrically, I mean musically.
Oh, okay.
I covered all your stuff with loads of arpeggios and it's quite pretty. I'd quite like to do, because Hollow Moon is really, really bleak, but so is the surrounding of it. I think sometimes what's quite cool about Still Life is that the lyrics are really bleak, but you've got something like Still Life where it's actually in a major key, and so is Out of the Dirt, and so is
and that's how the album goes
only The
full
Garden
circle.
is the one that's really musically quite dark as well. The rest of it musically is actually quite uplifting.
But it gets so dark in the middle. It gets
yeah,
so bleak.
that's where Hollow Moon is.
But the thinking was to have thank you. The thinking was to have the Out of the Dirt and Still Life as to make it circular. Like I used to dip into Finnegan's Wake by James Joyce when I was on acid, and it was this circular book that began with the ending, and I just thought, let's have something that comes the whole way around, as is suggested in the lyrics of Out of the Dirt. But this is what it's like working with Mishkin. Like, oh, could you write like less happy songs? Yeah. Could you maybe like, go a bit more, And I'm like, oh. No, it's wonderful. I really need a wee though. I mean, how are we for time? I mean, I can have a wee and come back if you want to chat to Mishkin for a bit.
I mean, sure. I'm doing.
Or we could call it. How are you for time, Mishkin?
I'm fine. I mean, I'm all right for another little while, but we could finish, I guess.
Is this unprofessional of me to say I need a wee?
I think it's just you. You're being just you, and that's perfect.
Well, I hope I'll leave it to Mishkin, but yeah, I hope we get to catch up properly soon. Lots of love.
Same. I love you.
Love you!
Are we finishing then, Ali? Are you going for a wee?
I'm just having a wee, you can decide.
Oh, okay. I'm not as good at talking as Ollie.
Well,
but it was really, really nice to meet you, and
I'm
start
so
following
glad
you
to
on
meet you.
Instagram and everything.
Same.
Now that I'm knowing about the podcast, I'll see you there.
Yeah. Anytime. If you want to come chat, or in November, I'll be doing the Lifting the Lid festival again,
Oh, cool.
where Ollie performed. Based in
Is
the
that
UK.
a live stream thing again, or?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So maybe you can participate in that too.
Yeah, that'd be great. I could do a set with my violinist. We do like a lot of projects together.
Cool.
We're both.
Is that Bird Eats Baby?
Yeah, I mean, she does her own project as well. Her name's Hannah Parana. She's really cool.
Cool name.
So yeah, the two of us could do like either solo sets, or we could perform a bit of Bird Eats Baby, or just a bit of everything if you want. We could do some Bird Eats Baby songs, a couple of solo tracks each, and then we also have like a side hip hop project called Eros.
Oh, cool.
So we could do a whole load of stuff, like one song from each or something like that. Whatever you want. But yeah, definitely let me know, and
I want all the death.
Yeah,
and all the
death. Yeah. In fact, it's not really hip hop; it's death pop.
Oh, I love
That's
it.
what we've. We're going to be on a compilation soon, which is a death pop CD. So I'm pretty pleased about that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ollie, you think you're gonna?
No, that's Eros. the side project with
Ooh.
Hannah. Yeah, we put out a couple of videos, and
Really great.
this label picked it up, and they're doing like a death pop release. We're announcing it on Friday, so.
What's your latest
Okay.
single video with Berry's Baby though? Because I love that
Oh
one.
yeah, Birdie's Baby just put out a song called Ribbons, which is all
Ribbons, yeah.
about well,
Awesome.
the video is like shibari, which is like Japanese rope tie. So everybody's like suspended in midair with ribbons and ropes and stuff. So it's quite pretty. But yeah, that's my like metal band.
Yeah, I've actually listened to some of that on Spotify.
Cool.
Ollie, I was telling Mishkin about the festival, Lifting the Lid.
Oh yeah, lifting the lid. Yes. Oh, do we think? Well, I know you're really busy, but
Yeah, we could try and set it as November,
I did it last year to a backing track, and you know, of course, I'd always much rather do like this, but you know,
well,
it's whether you're free. It's whether you're yeah.
This up. Like this took me like 10 minutes.
Now we've done this, and now we've made friends, and we know the songs.
Than a bit of a gig, you know. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love that. That would be wonderful.
Yeah, let me know as soon as you get the date, so I can book it in. As soon as I booked it in.
Yeah, I'll have to ask them.
Brilliant.
But maybe you can do a couple of things. Like you can come and chat with me and perform also. And
Yes, I mean if it's on separate days, because I'm imagining that for Mishkin it's like you know setting up and performing and talking and you know whereas I could talk till the cows come home if you want to do that separately.
okay.
I'll do the gig and then I'll leave.
I just
You don't
sound
have
like
to.
be in Mishkin's music room until like 4 a.m. going.
Yeah.
We recorded everything here. It's a beautiful space. It's wonderful to be here, and it's wonderful to record this with you. I really do appreciate it, and yeah.
Thanks for
your
making it
appreciation.
happen.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Well, until soon.
Bye.
Yes,
Thanks
next
for having
time.
us.
It's been wonderful. Thank you
you.
so much. Bye, Moon. Love
Bye,
you.
love.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.